Hey everyone, it's Jason Dunn from Digital Home Thoughts, and this is the box for the Dell Inspiron 14Z, or Z. I just received it today, so I'm going to pause the camera, open up the box, and we'll see what's inside. Alright, so here's everything inside the box. We have the laptop here, some paperwork, and then the sort of bundled accessories. So we'll start off just with the paperwork here. There's nothing particularly exciting inside. Here's the Dell Studio manual. Dell's really actually cut down on a lot of their paperwork in terms of the amount of paperwork that they generate per unit sold, which is a good thing. This is a copy of Microsoft Works, so nothing particularly exciting here. And then Dell also gives you a driver and utility CD and a reinstallation DVD for Windows Vista Home Premium 64-bit. You can also get this laptop with Vista 32-bit if you want. This is an accessory that I ordered, and okay, this is an 8-in-1 memory card reader. This plugs into the ExpressCard slot, but I don't think it's meant to be crushed down the middle. Like, this looks like it maybe got damaged in shipping. Yeah, so you can see here that it's cracked. So good job, Dell. I'm going to have to contact them about that and to get that replaced. We also have the power pack here for recharging the laptop. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. This is nice and slim. So for people who travel, this looks like it's, you know, slimmer and probably a little bit lighter than maybe the larger battery packs or the larger recharging packs. And then there's a power cable. So not a lot comes in the box. Now here is the 14Z or Z. I'm Canadian, you see, so for me this is a 14Z. But for our American watchers, it's the 14Z. Oh, here we go. Now, people who've watched my videos before know that I love the color red, so this probably doesn't surprise you too much that that's the color that I got. So, here is the notebook. Let's start by looking at some of the ports on it. We have an Ethernet port here, a USB port here. This is a fan vent, so this is where the heat comes out. We have another port here. It looks like a USB port, but there might actually be an eSATA port. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to kind of check that. I don't recognize this symbol here. This is an HDMI port, so the laptop does HDMI out, of course. There's nothing really to speak of on the front. On the other side here, this is the ExpressCard slot, so this is where you would put the memory card reader, that bent thing that I showed a minute ago. We have two headphone jack outputs here. We have a microphone input. We have a 1394 FireWire port. Here's the eSATA port. Okay, so the thing on the other side is definitely not an eSATA port. We have another USB port, and then we have the power cable. And this is actually kind of neat. This is the power button is actually part of the hinge, which is kind of neat. I've never actually seen that before. Here is the battery. The battery here is a 6-cell battery. Let me just take a look at my paperwork here. It's a 56 watt-hour 6-cell battery. They have, I believe it's an 8-cell battery or a 9-cell. I can't recall which, but it is optional. Normally I go for the big battery, but this time I decided that I would actually go for a smaller battery because I wanted to see, you know, how light and small this thing is. So the battery definitely needs a charge, as you can tell. But yeah, so that's the battery. We have a port on the back here, a panel. It's probably where the memory upgrade goes. And I should mention, so this is kind of interesting. This surface is, it's rubberized. It feels a bit rubbery to the touch. It feels a little bit, you know, like kind of clingy. So it's a little bit different than a lot of other surfaces that I've seen on notebooks. I've never seen a notebook quite like it with this finish, but I like it quite a bit. So let's crack it open here and check out the keyboard. So obviously it's you know, full-size keyboard. The keys are all separate, so sort of a bit of like a MacBook kind of keyboard here. It's, pretty much standard touchpad. It's nice and wide, buttons at the bottom here. The buttons are nice and soft to touch. I recently looked at the HP DV2, and the DV2, the buttons actually take a lot of pressure to click, which kind of bugs me a little bit, and so I like seeing that. There's nothing particularly interesting up here. We have, you know, kind of the standard buttons. These are speaker ports here. And then we have the widescreen screen. So this is a 14-inch high definition. So this is 900p. 900p is one of Dell's kind of made-up terms. I'm going to have to look up the exact resolution. Essentially, 1280 by 720 is 720p. 900p is a bump up from that. I'm not sure if it's 1440 by 900. It might even be a little bit higher. It might be 1680 by something. I will look that up and crank out the specs on the video here after I edit it. So let me tell you what is inside this machine. I got it with an Intel Core 2 Duo P8600. That's a 2.4 gigahertz CPU with 3 megabytes of cache. It comes with 3 gigs of RAM, DDR3, 1066 megahertz. Now, my understanding is that there's actually 2 gigabytes of memory on board, and then you actually, under that memory slot I showed you earlier, that's where there's actually an extra, the gig of RAM goes. The keyboard I got is backlit. That is an option. As I mentioned, it has the 14-inch screen. Now, it also does have a webcam. I'll see if I can point that out here. It's a little bit awkward because this is kind of large to show on camera. Right up here by my finger, if you can barely make that out, that's where the webcam is. And then there's also microphones. It looks like, yeah, it looks like there's 2 microphone inputs way up at the top here. Now, I'm going to keep rattling off the specs. It has an NVIDIA MCP 79MX. That is a GeForce 9400MG. So it's a GeForce video card. Decent video card, nothing too fantastic, but should handle most games decently. Although at the higher resolution that I picked, it may not handle it quite so well. I got a 320 gigabyte hard drive, 7200 RPM. So I did opt for the faster hard drive. There's a few different hard drive sizes. The system color is ruby red. As I mentioned, it's Vista Home Premium 64-bit. I got it with a Dell Wireless 1515 Wireless N card. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I also got Bluetooth 2.1 in there, and then the memory card reader that fits into the ExpressCard slot, as I mentioned earlier, and total for me was $1,306 Canadian. That is as of June 2009. Please do not ask me what the price is. Go to Dell.com, Dell.ca, wherever Dell is in your particular country, and check out the price for yourself. Dell constantly has sales. Their prices constantly fluctuate, so the price I'm giving you is only accurate basically for today. So worth noting. Also worth noting, the astute among you will have already figured this out, but there's no optical drive, no CD or DVD drive. It's not on this side, it's not on the front, and it's not on this side. So Dell made an interesting decision with this notebook. They decided that not everyone needs an optical drive. You know, people are buying netbooks by the millions and millions. They're very well selling, and of course most netbooks out there, you know, essentially every model except for maybe 1 or 2, they don't have optical drives. So by not having an optical drive, Dell is essentially saying that you know, most people can get pretty much everything they need via online access or internet access. Now, if you buy this and you want an optical drive, you can buy a USB-based optical drive. I'll put a link to that in this video. 50 or 60 bucks, and essentially just plugs into the USB port, and away you go. So really easy to do. Now, I will say that this notebook doesn't seem particularly lighter or thinner necessarily than other notebooks that I've seen, but you know, and so the response might be made that, you know, okay, well, why did Dell get rid of the optical drive if they didn't really gain anything? But as you can tell, Dell, you know, it's not like there's any open space here. Dell put as many ports as they could fit on either side. and it may in fact even just cut down a bit on the cost. So if you absolutely positively need an optical drive, this is not going to be the laptop for you. But if you don't and you just want to use an external one, this might be a good choice for you. So this has been Jason Dunn from Digital Home Thoughts. This is my very first impressions and my unboxing video for the Dell Inspiron 14Z. Thanks for watching. I'll be following up, of course, with a full review video once I power it up, recharge the battery, and check it out. Thanks for watching.